So let's bring in former assistant U.S. attorney and Fox News contributor Andy McCarthy. Andy, I resisted calling you this weekend because I was trying to figure all of this out. I knew you would write about it, and you have. And now we get a chance to have you here, and so our viewers can understand. Why do you say that this is a farce?
Well, first of all, he keeps being called a special counsel. He's not a special counsel, not under the regulations. Now, let's be clear. The Attorney General of the United States can pick whoever he wants to investigate whatever he wants. So I am not saying that the appointment or the picking of Weiss to do this investigation is invalid. However, he's not a special counsel. A special counsel under the regulations is supposed to be an attorney who's brought in from outside the government to investigate because the Justice Department has a conflict of interest. He didn't do that here.
Such as, just so people understand, that's what Robert Mueller was in the Trump investigation.
Correct. Mm-hmm. And what, yeah, I think there were problems with that appointment as well. But with respect to this one, what he's doing, what Garland is doing, is assigning the case to Weiss, which is no change because it's been assigned to him since 2018, and labeling him a special counsel. But he's not a special counsel under the regulations of the Justice Department for that process. And the reason he's doing that is try to convey to the impression to people that there's some kind of independent integrity to this investigation, which is laughable given the way that it's been conducted to this point.
Andy, if Joe Biden is the Democratic nominee, and if he is standing up before 60 million Americans and gets a question about this, and the investigation is still ongoing, you know, sometimes they take years, can he defer? Secondly, if Jim Jordan and James Comer on the House side want to hold a hearing on this and call key witnesses before them, can they decline at this point?
Well, they can decline, Bill, because it's political. I mean, you know, they're not going to be able to make them answer questions. But I do think what they ought to be asking questions about is how much of the case is lost. You know, you just had a report about Hunter's lawyers kind of confidently saying, if the deal is gone, so be it. I don't blame them for that. Remember the WhatsApp message that everybody got spun up about a month ago? I would remind people, the sequence there is, Hunter does this extortionate message where he says his dad is sitting there with him. They're pressuring these Chinese guys. And within about 8 days, they start sending $5 million that gets into the Biden family coffers over the next number of weeks. That call, that WhatsApp message, happened on July 30th, 2017. The $5 million went on August 8th, 2017. Today is August 14th, 2023. The statute of limitations for most federal crimes is 5 years. For tax crimes, it's 6 years. All of that stuff is time barred at this point because Weiss never indicted the case. All he needed to do to preserve this case was file an indictment. And then the statute of limitations would have stopped, and you could negotiate a plea agreement from a position of strength because if they didn't agree to plead,
right, since Dana
then you could file the felony charge.
Since Dana didn't call you over the weekend, then tell us now and tell our audience, what was the incentive to make this decision? What is the effect of it?
Well, it's a twofold decision. On the front end, Weiss makes the case against Hunter disappear by not charging it. So the statute of limitations is eating all of these charges. This behavior goes from like 2014 through 2018. So almost all of it is gone. And then on the back end, the special counsel, quote unquote, designation allows him to write a report. So at some propitious moment next year, during the election season, he'll drop a report saying, you know, I've looked at this and President Biden had nothing to do with it.
What should we call him if we don't call him special counsel? Because I want to be correct.
I'm calling it a sham, but I think he's the United States Attorney for Delaware.
I've got it. Okay, thank you, Andy.
Thank you,
Great
Andy.
to be with you. I'm glad I didn't call you. Next time I might. Take
Anytime, Dana.
Okay.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.